Avi Loeb just made it official. He's putting his money where his mouth is. Yesterday, Loeb placed an official bet with Michael Shermer, executive director of the Skeptics Society, that within 5 years, by December 31st, 2030, there will be undisputable scientific evidence for a technological artifact from an extraterrestrial civilization. Not speculation, not maybes. Undisputable evidence. And he's betting actual money on it. The bet money goes to the non-profit foundation of the Galileo Project. The Long Now Foundation is officiating. This is formal. This is documented. This is Loeb saying, "I'm so confident in what we're discovering that I'll stake real currency on the outcome." And if you've been following Atlas, if you understand what's happening right now in November 2025, you'll realize why Loeb feels confident enough to make this bet. Let me tell you what's changed, why Loeb is going on the offensive, and why the next few weeks could prove him right years ahead of schedule. Let's talk about the timing. Loeb didn't make this bet in abstract. He made it right now, in November 2025, with Atlas exhibiting unprecedented anomalies and Earth-based observatories just regaining the ability to observe it. As of yesterday, November 11th, Atlas's angular separation from the Sun grew beyond 30 degrees in the sky. That means Earth-based telescopes can finally focus on it again without solar interference. For weeks, we've been in a blackout or near blackout. Now, full observation capability restored. And the timing couldn't be better. Because in the coming weeks leading to December 19th, when Atlas makes its closest approach to Earth, we're going to measure everything. The speed of those 7 jets, the mass density, the composition. We're going to search for multiple fragments from perihelion, the fireworks that should exist if Atlas naturally disintegrated. This is the test. This is the data collection period that will determine whether Atlas is exotic natural chemistry or something artificial. And Loeb just bet that by 2030, we'll have undisputable evidence. Not just from Atlas, but from the systematic search that's just beginning. His statement to the Long Now Foundation reads, and I quote, "The search for technological artifacts has just started in earnest in 2025 with the discovery of the anomalous interstellar object 3I Atlas, the launch of the Rubin Observatory, and the construction of 3 Galileo Project observatories." Think about what he's saying. Atlas isn't the end of the search, it's the beginning. The Rubin Observatory will detect interstellar objects at rates of 1 every few months. The Galileo Project has 3 observatories now operational. The infrastructure for systematic detection is in place. We're not hoping to get lucky with one anomalous visitor. We're building a detection network that will find them routinely. And if the pattern holds, if interstellar objects continue showing anomalies like Atlas, then Loeb's bet isn't bold, it's conservative. But here's where it gets spicy, because Loeb isn't just making a bet about discovery, he's making a statement about scientific gatekeeping. And he's done being diplomatic about it. Yesterday, when asked by 8 different podcasters and reporters why COMET experts are so dismissive of alternative interpretations for Atlas's anomalies, Loeb made an analogy that cuts deep. He compared COMET experts to AI systems trained only on COMET data. If you train an AI only on comets, it will classify every object in the sky as a comet, regardless of what anomalies it displays. It will insist the data fits its training set, because that's all it knows. COMET experts do the same thing. They look at Oumuamua accelerating without any gas or dust, and call it a dark comet. A comet that doesn't display characteristics of a comet. They see Atlas with 7 jets in opposite directions, industrial metal ratios, blue color, and insist it must be sublimating ice pockets. Why? Because their training data set includes only natural comets. They refuse to include examples like NASA's 2020 Ito. a spent rocket stage that behaved exactly like a dark comet because it's technological. They refuse to include SpaceX's Tesla Roadster, another object in space exhibiting non-gravitational acceleration without cometary activity, because it's artificial. These examples exist. They're documented. They're real space objects that accelerate without tails because they're manufactured. But comet experts won't add them to their mental models, because accepting those examples means accepting that technological objects can exist in space and behave differently than natural ones. Loeb calls this Pavlovian resistance to new ideas as a means of protecting turf of past knowledge. Scientists trained in one paradigm, defending that paradigm against evidence that threatens it. And he's not wrong. Look at the violent insistence that Atlas's 7 jets must come from ice sublimation, not thrusters. Look at the refusal to seriously consider that an object with 1 in 10 quadrillion odds might not fit natural categories. This is gatekeeping. This is expertise becoming arrogance. This is the establishment protecting its territory rather than following data wherever it leads. And Loeb just said, fine, I'll bet money, I'll make it formal, I'll put my reputation and currency on the line. Because the data is coming, and it won't care about your training set. There's also the matter of NASA's data, which Loeb explicitly addressed. He wrote, "Can NASA please release the data that was held hostage by politics for 40 days? Scientific knowledge should not be second in priority to bureaucracy." 40 days. The high-rise images from October 2nd and 3rd, the highest resolution photos of Atlas ever taken, have been held for 40 days due to government shutdown and bureaucratic delays. But the shutdown is ending. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna confirmed NASA will release the images as soon as the government reopens. That could be any day now, maybe this week. And when those images drop, when we see 3 times better resolution than Hubble, when we see what NASA internally confirmed to Congress as abnormal tail behavior, the debate shifts dramatically. Loeb made his bet knowing those images are about to be released. He made his bet knowing December 19th observations will measure jet composition and velocity. He made his bet knowing the Rubin Observatory will find more objects like Atlas in the coming years. He's not gambling. He's reading the trajectory of evidence and extrapolating forward. His statement continues, "Given that there are billions of Earth-Sun analogs in the Milky Way galaxy, most of which are billions of years older than the solar system, and that it will take less than 1 billion years for our Voyager spacecraft to cross the Milky Way disk, we must engage in the scientific search for extraterrestrial technological artifacts. The logic is airtight. Billions of Earth-like systems, most older than ours. Enough time for civilizations to arise, develop technology, and send objects across the galaxy. If we can imagine sending Voyager, they can imagine sending something more sophisticated." And he closes with this, "It is better to be an optimist, because life is sometimes a self-fulfilling prophecy. This is why I am engaged in the search with the hope that we will find a partner on our blind date with interstellar objects." That's not just scientific philosophy, that's confidence. That's a researcher who believes the evidence is about to vindicate his position, and vindicate it so strongly that betting money on the outcome makes perfect sense. The bet is official. The terms are clear. By December 31st, 2030, undisputable scientific evidence for extraterrestrial technology, 5 years from now. But Loeb isn't waiting 5 years to find it. He's saying the search has already started in earnest, right now, with Atlas, with Rubin, with Galileo Project observatories operational and scanning the sky. The data is coming. Earth observatories can see Atlas again as of yesterday. December 19th approaches. The high-rise images are about to be released. fragment searches will begin, composition analysis will happen, and if Atlas delivers what the anomalies suggest, if those 7 jets turn out to be thrusters, if the blue color comes from engines, if the non-gravitational acceleration without massive debris cloud proves artificial propulsion, then Loeb won't need 5 years. He'll win the bet in 2025. The establishment can resist. The COMET experts can insist. The gatekeepers can protect their turf, but the data doesn't care about training sets or Pavlovian responses or academic politics. The data will speak. The observations will arrive. And Loeb just bet money that when they do, they'll confirm what he's been arguing all along. Stay connected, because NASA's data release could drop any day. And when it does, when we finally see those high-rise images that have been held for 40 days, the bet might get very interesting very quickly. December 31st, 2030 is the deadline. But the evidence? That's arriving now. And Loeb is ready.